Okay. Breathing art. Is that from Demon Slayer? Is that how they have to translate their shit? That's kind of sad. Everything that sounds cool in shonen manga, once you translate it to English, it sounds fucking stupid. This is a critical problem. Any Coomers in chat? I'm the Coomer in chat. That's the big secret. The Coomer in chat was the streamer all along. It was me. It was always me. Is Demon Slayer even good? Well, it finished, which is more than you can say than a lot of anime or manga series, so if you actually care about how your stories end, and you want one that isn't going to be on hiatus for forever. Ippo never finished. Not only is it never finished, it's still just going normally. It's not even on hiatus, it's just going. Even though it should have finished a long, long time ago. Let's be honest, guys. There's really no reason for any series to be longer than, I don't know, 50 volumes. Any story that you can tell over the course of 100 volumes, you can also probably tell over the course of 50 volumes, and it will probably be better. What's one of your manga's anime that you enjoy other than Taimani? Taimani isn't a manga or an anime. It's just images that you jack off to. Except for One Piece, am I right, fellas? How many of you have actually read One Piece, the Not Japan arc? Because I haven't read it, and every single person that talks about it on the Japanese internet is basically like, Jesus Christ, it went on too long. It went on too long. Yes. I have reasons to believe One Piece is only popular because of big titty anime girls. See, now we're just getting into take popular thing and be like it's actually not good territory, which is just standard hipster territory. I'm checking some of my previous images to see how thick I had the panel lines be. Because this one pic is at a different resolution from the other ones. And as a result, I have to use a different brush size. Maybe 11. That looks a little better. You find any new good doujin artists? Not really. I know this might sound crazy, but I think I need to stop looking at so much fucking porn. The reason why I used to look at a ton of porn was because I would masturbate every day because I was terrified to go outside into society without jacking off because I was afraid that I would like have uncontrollable boner moments and ruin my life or something due to my erections. However, now that all I'm doing is being at home drawing manga, I don't think I need to force myself to jack off every single day. I'm sure 2 to 7 hours a day is healthy and you definitely don't have brain rot. I mean, it's been especially bad recently because what happens is I've been watching the NBA playoffs, and if there's anything anybody knows about American sports TV is that they have a million fucking mandatory timeouts so that you are forced to watch the commercial breaks. So during the commercial breaks, I'm like, I'm not going to participate in your stupid capitalist system. I'm going to turn off the sound and pull out my second screen and do something productive while I wait like 4 or 5 minutes for the commercial break to end. And what am I going to do when I have a second screen open? Well, I guess I'm just going to go on, I don't know, Pixiv and stuff and look for more porn, right? So I don't think I'm like in true Coomer territory, or I wasn't, but the NBA playoffs is like 5 hours of basketball a day if you want to watch, you know, even half of the games on TV. So it's basically asking for overloading your brain with fucking porn. So instead of browsing porn, I think I'm gonna rearrange my monitor and stand up and then do horse stance thigh muscle training instead. At least you never busted it so much to the point you're getting battle scars on your schlong, so you're doing something good. So this isn't exactly something that most people would want to talk about, but ever since I was a kid, we've actually addressed this many times on stream, but ever since I was a kid, I've been jacking off by jamming my cock into my futon, which in Japanese is called yuka ona or utsu ona, which means like floor masturbation or futon masturbation. And if you look on Japanese websites, there's like actual articles sponsored by they're sponsored by the Onahole company. I forgot what it was called, Tenga, that are like, whatever you do, don't fucking do this, because you're desensitizing your penis and you won't be able to ejaculate inside a vagina anymore because you're applying more pressure to your cock than you'll ever be able to experience by a vagina. So you're basically making yourself impotent in terms of like having like normal sex. And I'm like, uh-oh. I think that's normal for starting out. Apparently this is a common issue for Japanese kids, especially according to these articles, because they live in these communal sleeping environments where they don't get their own room. So they start developing masturbation strategies where they can do it in private. So you can sort of jam your cock into your futon even if you're sleeping next to your brother or whatever. Hence, it becomes like this long-standing problem among Japanese kids that's more common than like other countries. So I actually tried to fix this for about one day in college because I was like, I should probably make it so I can jack off by hand and get prepared for having sex. And then I tried and I couldn't come by hand, so I have fully desensitized my penis, I believe, unfortunately. However, this has never actually presented a problem in my case because I have never had sex and never have a girlfriend, so... Yes. Also, that article was being posted by the Tenga, the Onahole company, so they're trying to use men's fear of being like essentially sexually impotent for them to also buy Onaholes, to be like, you should train your cock to be normal by using this Onahole. So it is, they do have sort of capitalistic intent. Are you serious? You're a virgin? Yes, it is well known on the stream that not only am I a virgin, I don't have any kind of human contact at this point. So I'm halfway between a wizard, a virgin, and like a monk that has basically given up on all worldly desires. Don't worry, having a girlfriend doesn't mean you have sex. Yes, this is true. Same thing with having a wife, by the way. It's easy to convince yourself that if you had a normal lifestyle with wife and children, Unlike your current incel lifestyle, you would be happy, but there's no guarantee for that. How will he satisfy his harem of women he's gained from his art fame? Unfortunately, I think all the women that are attracted to my art are also like have serious mental issues, so I feel like most salarymen don't have sex with their wives either. We know this from all the hentai in which they pay the local Chad to fuck their wife for them, so yeah. But this Tenga article was like, you need to train your dick. First thing you need to do to get out of the floor or futon masturbation method is you get it hard normally and you jack off using the floor masturbation method until you're about to come, and then you pull out your dick and come using your hand, and it might take months of you to wean yourself off of your current tradition of jacking off. So I thought about doing that for a bit, and then I realized, why am I training myself to prepare to ejaculate inside a vagina? There are no vaginas available to me at the moment. That's silly. The new generation is cooked. I think we should make multiple wives polygamy legal, honestly. Just let the Giga Chads who aren't porn addicted coomers impregnate 5 or 6 women. Like, wouldn't we all be better off if we just let LeBron James have sex with like all our wives instead? Get the superior genetics going there. Are you perhaps into NTR? I'm not. I can't imagine a strong buff Chad fucking my girlfriend because I don't have a girlfriend. Every man's dream to raise Chad's children. Honestly, I grew up in a single parent or mostly single parent household. So I think it's perfectly fine to not have father figures around, to be honest. So just let the Chads fuck the women, and then you just don't raise them, is how. Let the women raise the Chad's children. How about ugly bastards? Unfortunately, ugly bastards don't actually get to have as much sex as we'd like to believe. What is your art style based on? I don't know, honestly. I haven't done like specific imitations of other artists besides when I'm like trying to draw their style due to a request. So I don't know what's affecting me in one way or the other. Some people model themselves specifically after other artists, but I've never really done that. Unfortunately, ugly bastards don't have the stamina of a horse like some adaptations might show you. Unfortunately, ugly bastards are just as much a fictional construct as the pure childhood friend waifu that they're NTRing. They both don't exist. The girl doesn't exist and the ugly bastard doesn't exist either. Also, the tanned blonde-haired Chad with piercings and jewelry and stuff, he also doesn't exist. None of these people exist. The reason why your childhood friend is having sex with somebody other than you isn't because she's being NTR'd by the local charismatic Chad with a huge cock. It's because she has very low sense of chastity and she just wants to have sex. Ugly bastards are real. They're just not real in the hentai sense is basically what I want to say. It's not a thing. Have you ever read any type of pornhuas? I mean, I read doujin content by Korean authors, but isn't Korean porn banned in Korea? I thought that they have like weird ass bans on specific porn, even though we get porn artists publishing stuff on the internet. Isn't it like actually banned? I don't really know how that shit works. I can't believe women want to have sex. Yeah. Women are such whores, unlike men who are pure. Yeah, I don't read scroll type comics if that's what you're talking about. Anything where I have to fucking scroll, I hate it. Scrolling is awful. Don't get me started on how much I fucking hate scrolling. Alright, I'm gonna close the window because the birds are getting annoying and loud. The webtoon format in TikTok have been disastrous. I just like... It just objectively has no benefits, scrolling. Oh, fucking birds, man. Also, the damn children are going to get out of school soon. We live near a school, so the kids start walking home from school. And I have to threaten them with my shotgun to get off my lawn. This is also a reason why I probably shouldn't worry about not being able to ejaculate inside a vagina. I fucking hate kids. Aren't ugly bastards just 4chan and Reddit users? I mean, I feel like the hentai ugly bastard doesn't use Reddit. Hentai ugly bastards spend all their time in the real world fucking actual women. They don't spend much time online. They're not terminally online like you losers. It's just self-insert. It's not really self-insert. It's more like people want to see something that is pure and beautiful. In this case, anime waifus defiled by something that is ugly. Hence why you have like goblin rape porn and stuff like that. However, it also serves as a self-insert as well. They spend their time working 5 part-time jobs. You have to work as like the local janitor to a female-only high school. And then you can blackmail the girls by showing them a photo you took of them in their underwear. And they're like, no, you have a photo of me in my underwear. Now I'll have to have sex with you. The power of blackmail. Male JAV actors are so old and ugly. You're not supposed to be looking at them, but yes. Do we really need a Lion King prequel? This is the problem of capitalism. They have to keep on producing even when they basically don't have any more content to produce. You all are watching the wrong JAVs. Yeah, there's some young, attractive Japanese male porn stars out there, to the point that they have like compilation videos of just the porn that show that one porn star. I've seen them for women and stuff. Women who want to schlick to the guy. However, perhaps if you are more preoccupied with the male body in your JAV, that might be your latent homosexuality coming out. Just a pro tip right there. I need JAV with a hot guy and old ugly women. That also exists, unfortunately. The Japanese porn industry, it is actually way too diversified, I guess is the word. To the point where there's a lot of shit I don't ever actually want to see, but I end up seeing. You're quite knowledgeable for your homosexual palate cleansers. You kind of run into the Japanese porn stuff when you browse as much porn as I do. Even the stuff you don't necessarily want to look at. What type of hentai chicks are you into? Elves, succubi, orc women, goblins, orc women, cowgirls, orc women, slime girls, orc women. I like evil women, which is why I'm drawing an evil woman right now. I would say evil dark elf woman, but that's redundant because all dark elf women are evil. Every man is a holy paladin, waiting for his opportunity to defeat the evil woman pussy with the power of his holy cock. I need my woman to be physically larger than me. Sometimes I wish I was a goblin, like a tiny, small, disgusting monster with like an abnormally large cock, and then I could mount women, you know, and crawl all over them. I'm guessing you're like them because of uol, sexo, womb needs correction, uol. Yes, that except unironically. There's a clip of a small, skinny guy. He's getting recorded by his girlfriend and being provided food. Are you talking about? I think I know which one that you're talking about. Is this like a recent JAV meme? Because there were images being passed around on the internet of like a new JAV theme in which it was starring the female porn stars with their actual porn star's name, and it was like, this female porn star comes to this fan's house and then she cooks and cleans for him. And then she yells at him for being worthless. And he's like, sorry, he, he. And then she fucks him. Again, men only want one thing in life and it's disgusting. It's not a JAV? Okay. I like how you're talking about how there's just like a small guy and women are making food for him, and you're like, this is a thing. Back in the day, that would have been considered to be a normal interaction, or perhaps the only interaction between a man and a woman. It'd be like, bitch, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Yakin Byoto was a pain to watch. Why the fuck are we talking about hentai from like the year 2002 or something? What the fuck is this? Are we going to start talking about bondage fairies next? That was the only communication between man and wife allowed. That and domestic violence spurred by bouts of alcoholic rage. I always learn so much on your streams. I'm a very knowledgeable man when it comes to important things like how my cock is functionally useless for impregnating women because it's been desensitized. He needs women to be bigger than him. When you're as large as I am, and I'm not that large, but I'm pretty large by Japanese standards, and you want a larger woman than me, than myself, then I would basically have to just hang out around professional volleyball players or something. Or it ain't gonna happen. Once again, it's suffering. Being a tall, masculine giga chad such as myself is suffering when you want even larger women. If your cock can't come fast because of desensitivity, doesn't that mean you can last very long and please women immensely? Theoretically, yes. But the reason why the article is saying that it's a problem is because you can't come based on vaginal pressure alone, which is true, because I can't come from my hand, which means that you can't come inside the vagina and impregnate people. Theoretically, during sex, that would mean I won't just like immediately come and therefore I'll last longer, so that might be a positive. But if you really get to the baby making phase, that means you have to bring out like the turkey baster or something, which would be kind of sexy in itself, I guess. Please don't tell me you don't have the hand issue right now. What, that I can't come from hand pressure? No, I've always had that. I've literally only masturbated using the mash your cock into the futon technique my entire life. Your wife scooping your cum off the futon. Kind of hot, not gonna lie. Your core and legs must be extremely toned then. They are. But not because I was fucking my futon, just because I work out every day. My leg muscles, my thighs are so fucking thick, I can't wear any of those skinny jeans. Skinny jeans have been a huge problem for me when they became popular because it means I literally can't wear like 90% of the pants on the market because my thighs are too fucking thick. But pants with cotton are stretchy enough? No. I mean, yeah, but I don't want my pants to be like completely fucking clinging to my legs the entire time. Also, that doesn't leave any space for the balls. You don't want your balls to be constricted. That would be bad. You do horse stance, then want to bust one out because of said juicy flesh on one's legs. I mean, who wants to bust one out? But yes, I do a lot of horse stance. I was doing Shiko, which is a technique that sumo wrestlers do. But I think that's bad for your knees. So I'm just going to do horse stance. Instead of jacking off, I'm going to do horse stance while watching NBA games. I think that's what I'm going to do. Keep myself physically engaged. Ball can squat 250 kilogram, guys. He's kind of strong. I don't know how much I can squat. I don't really go for the really heavy weights because I'm always terrified that I'm just going to publicly rupture my tendon or something while I'm at the gym, and it will be extremely embarrassing. I tend to use weights that are like well below my what would be a recommended heavier weight, and then just do more reps if I want to. The stomping one, yeah, I think it's bad for your knees. I was doing it for a little bit, and it's good for increasing the balance. It's like basically one-legged squats is basically what it is, but I decided that I probably shouldn't be imitating training methods for people in a sport that all have like fucking disastrous knee issues, and also they all die around 60 or something, so I probably shouldn't imitate them too much. It might be good training if you do it in very limited amounts. And it definitely has made my legs stronger, but I feel like there's no way for you to strengthen the internal tendons and stuff, like your meniscus of your legs. Like, you can't really make that stronger, I think. So you seem like you're training for body longevity. No? Yeah, I mean, I'm at fucking 37, right? I'm not going to go and start doing CrossFit or some shit like that. I just do it for health, so. Fuck my dean during rock climbing, 2 years of pain, stick to safe sports, people. Anything that requires you to, like, twist your body or do, like, weird-ass positions and stuff and put pressure on your body in weird ways has the potential for you to, like, tear something weird, like your ACL or some shit. Basically, the human body can do a bunch of stuff, but it's only designed to do, like, one or two things. Like, it's designed to run and, like, throw a spear every once in a while. And everything extra that we do, like, I don't know, fucking football is probably disastrously bad for our body. What's the most masculine manga to exist? Sakigake Otoko Juku. Is there an English title for that? Hold on. Oh, I forgot that the music had stopped. This thing. It's just masculine men doing masculine shit. The artist is literally incapable of drawing women, so it's just huge guys with fucking mustaches and stuff beating the shit out of each other. Did you ever at one point jack off to your art? I did, like, once or twice when the internet wasn't as good as it is. But it's really not worth it once you have other people's art. Because in the process of drawing, you basically become desensitized to your own image. So it's better. It's always better to jack off to other people's stuff. Did he ever draw a woman? He did once or twice. Fist of the North Star is also masculine. Yes. Masculine men doing masculine things. I felt like doing the N64 music meme. Back when video games were good. They will run for miles until the animal will get tired and then they will catch it. Yeah, this is, so ancient hunting techniques, you just run down animals, is how humans work. Is your persona based off that eye tentacle guy from Marvel? Not really. It's just like a tentacle monster that I was trying to draw something that would fit in these very limited icon spaces. And I wanted tentacles or something. Something that was like, I basically drew a bunch of different variations of something that was easily visible for even if it's a small icon. And that seemed the one that looked the best. So it's not really based off of Shuma Gorath, who is what you're talking about. Gotta lower her boobs. I have a tendency to draw boobs too high, actually. But they start from the pit. So it'd be like here, and then they sag from there. And if you want to draw an older woman, you have to make sure that the boobs are properly saggy. To get maximum hag quality. We're kind of used to boobs being too high up because of push-up bras. But in generally they should be lower. Remember, boobs must be firm, but they should also be soft. And soft means they have to sag. I heard boobs feel like a bag of sand. This is not true. Have you guys ever touched a bag of sand? Bags of sand are fucking insanely hard. They're basically like concrete. Like an actual sandbag. Like if you punched a sandbag that was like firmly packed, you're gonna fucking break your hand. It's crazy how hard those things become. I'm not going to ask whether you've touched a boob or not, because that would be offensive to all the people who clearly haven't touched a boob in stream. That's so mean. What 100% of people in chat? If you were breastfed as a child, does that mean you've automatically touched boobs? As long as your mother didn't feed you with formula. We've all touched boobs, guys. We did it. Mission accomplished. That doesn't count, says you. I'll decide what counts or not. We've all been in a woman too. That's right. She used to be tight, but when she took your giant fat baby head crowning out of her vagina, it destroyed her pussy. We're all pussy destroyers, guys. Do you think the overuse of isekai is causing diminishing returns? You have no idea how fucking bad it is. Because I read from the actual website in which people post this shit. What happens is, even among isekai, there'll be like one popular format, and then once it gets popular, everybody will fucking imitate the format. Because you guys are getting the shit that's like several years down the pipeline. Here, let me actually create a graphic for this. What's the word? It's like this. What was I thinking about? Oh. Might something I forgot right here. So what you guys are getting shit right now. You guys right now are getting shit. See, this is stuff like Overlord that you already got like quite a bit a while ago. Overlord, Mushoku, stuff like this. Traditional fantasy. Oh, Class. Yeah, Class Tensei. I forgot about that. I always avoid Class Tensei because I fucking hate it. And what you guys don't know, what's coming down the pipeline is Dungeon in Modern Japanese Society. I become a popular streamer. This is something that's coming. This is the fucking thing that's going on right now. People want to be fucking streamers. That's right. Not only do they want to be the strongest, they also want to be popular online. When it hits this blue area, that's where the anime start getting made. Miyazaki was right when he said anime is incestuous. It's not really anime is incestuous. It's that amateur writers are incestuous, and then the anime industry doesn't have enough, is being risk averse. That's basically the problem. There's no longer an interest in self-actualization in the real world, but also online. It's fucking over. Well, the people who read this shit, you know. This is like... ...2012? Like this, basically. All of this is funded by Kadokawa, by the way. See, the thing is, despite all of this shit, there is still good stuff being made among these amateur writers. And if you're a Japanese reader like me, you can find it. And you just read the good stuff. A similar problem with capes in US and Canadian comics? Not really. Because US and Canadian comics, a lot of it is top-down instead of bottom-up. This is bottom-up shit. Cape shit is top-down shit. What do we have to look forward to, BB? Unfortunately, the stuff that's really good doesn't really get animated very often. And when it does get animated, it's not necessarily as good as the novel. I rarely watch the animes of even the novels that I do like, because usually the novel is still better. Also, but Kadokawa funding everything is also a problem. I will give you that. Mushoku anime is good though, yes, but I still like the novel better. It's kind of hard to describe what a good writer he is without actually like reading the Japanese, but you know. Is any light novel actually well written in terms of prose? Doesn't have to be readable by 14-year-olds who don't know kanji. So the thing is that the isekai genre is an amateur website, which means you can just post whatever the fuck you want. They don't have editors. So some of the prose on that website is like extremely purple, as in it's actually hard to read because it's so difficult. Light novels, you actually have editors, so they're like, you have to make it easy as hell to read. But the Shosetsukai Naro, Let's Become a Novelist website, where all the isekai shit comes from, a lot of the writers are bad writers in the opposite direction, where they use too many difficult words and shit like that for their own good. It's pretty funny. What's with this color rating for prose? Is purple prose not a term? I think it is. Purple prose? Yeah. In literary criticism, purple prose is overly ornate prose text that may disrupt a narrative flow by drawing undesirable attention to its own extravagant style of writing, thereby diminishing the appreciation of the prose overall. Purple prose is characterized by the excessive use of adjective, adverbs, and metaphors. This can especially be a problem in Japanese because sometimes if they use hard-ass kanji, you literally can't read what they're fucking writing. Especially if you're like an American half like me, so... Where can I read your manga? I'll be posting it on my Patreon first. And then probably there'll be the YouTube dub of it coming out after that, after which I will post it on Twitter. It's the order in which it will get posted. I won't have any kind of exclusive content where you'll only be able to read in one location. Obviously, because shit will be posted on the... It will be spread around on the internet anyways, so... Flowery prose. Yes, that's another way of saying it. I should do this all on a different layer anyways. You're starving Solus out, BB. He needs your content. He's actually already dubbed a lot of the stuff that I've... See, he had the script because I sent him his images, so he's actually already dubbed a lot of this stuff. And he's waiting for me to finish all the images so he can do the image part. Look, the truth is, I don't have any sympathy for fucking dubbers because I'm out here fucking slaving on drawing these fucking pages and they get to just read a few lines in a few minutes and they're done. Obviously the image editing and like the sound editing probably takes a few hours and shit, but compared to the amount of slavery I have to go through to basically finish off one of these fucking pages, it's so goddamn fast. I wish I could just dub stuff. Gently I keep patting Koharu's head, which smells like the sun. That's actually not purple prose. Drama between BB and Solus. Unfortunately, it's not just me and Solus. It's just like anything that goes with anime. It's like how the anime is always catching up to the manga, you know, in any kind of shonen stuff. Let's turn this off, we'll do that later. Dubs can either be good or total dumpster fire. Honestly, I don't really care about dubbing unless it's being done by my more and more cute anime Japanese seiyuu. The only dubbing I care about is the dubbing being done by Kugimiya Rie. and her tsundere voices. Bible Black is the latter. I mean, why are you even watching anything in the English dub, especially hentai? That's such a bad idea. It's weird that she has a little dragon in Grand Blue. I like, out of all the Kugimiya voices, I like the Gintama voice of Kagura the best, where she's doing a fake Chinese accent. And she's like, "Dosta aru ka, Gin-chan? Sukonbu taberu ka?" You make a few lines look very good. I'm jelly. So that is part of getting better, is that you have to kind of reduce the amount of lines you have. Of course, it has to be the racist caricature that abuses BB the most. Yes, I like racism. Any opportunity to be racist, I'm on board. I wish I was born in 1890 so I could make my job as a newspaper cartoonist, drawing racist caricatures about, like, Hitler's expansion and stuff like that, and the Japanese menace. The flow of her stance and body is really good. I'm going to have her be, her upper body be tilted backward a little bit. I'm going to change that after I draw some of the other lines. For the body flow to look better, I'm going to have to tilt her upper body backward, and then so the boobs don't stick out too much. There's also the option of making the boobs smaller, but then everyone in chat is going to complain. What's the equivalent of racist Asian accent when Japanese people make fun of Americans speaking Japanese? You speak in all katakana. That's how you do it. It's like when you speak like the guy in Yu-Gi-Oh! Bandit Keith. When you're like, "Hey, Japanese boy." Japan isn't allowed to be racist against Americans, though, because they lost the war. So at the end of the day, they basically have to be America's bitches at all times. Do Japanese ever get offended for what Americans did with the accent? They seem chill as fuck. That's because Japanese think that they're white, and they incorrectly assume that in most cases when Americans are making fun of them with the accent, they're not actually talking about Japanese. They think they're talking about the Chinese. Most Japanese don't understand that Americans don't understand the difference between Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans. They think that they're different. You have to inform the Japanese that actually Americans think that all of you look the same. You'll see this IRL in terms of language when Japanese refer to Asia as Asia. What they actually mean is countries other than Japan in Asia, because they don't think of themselves as Asia. They think of Asia as like the third world. We're not Asia, we're Japan. We're part of the first world is kind of the feeling. Not gonna lie, same thing with Europeans. I mean, I legitimately don't care which country of Europe you're from. Should I really make a distinction between whether you're from Germany, Austria, or like Switzerland? You're basically the same fucking country, let's be honest. Same thing for you, your Scandinavians. I'm definitely not going to differentiate between the Norwegians and like the Swedish. You're basically like one block for me. If you tell a Korean they look Chinese, they'd probably pop a blood vessel. I mean, Koreans look Korean, I would say, because they have such a distinct facial structure thanks to all of the shit tons of plastic surgery they all get. The power of plastic surgery in Korea is so powerful, they look unlike any other race on Earth. Swiss are definitely the most uppity of the group. I mean, they're allowed to be. They live in their secluded banking state. The mountain of jawbones. I know everybody is cooming over Stellar Blade, but the way in which they fucking scraped her jaw, it bugs the hell out of me, man. Bro. Fucking look at her face, man. You go from like the tips of the ear to the point. It's like a fucking straight line. It's like a goddamn triangle right here. They just completely fucking overdid that shit. It bugs the hell out of me, man. The body is okay, I guess. Maybe a little too leggy. But they completely overdid that. If we're going by Korean face fuckery hotness, a actual Korean game that I'm looking forward to based on its hot girls is this one. First Descendant game. I think this one has the Korean aesthetic in terms of plastic surgeryness to it, but it's much more at an acceptable level for me. I can coom to this level of face like this. This looks way much better. Korean Warframe, let's go. Yeah. I'm ready for my Korean Warframe pay-to-win gotcha waste thousands of hours if you don't want to pay for stuff. Gameplay. I know there's people who masturbate to the Warframe bodies, but it was never in the masturbation level for me, so finally we get, we're gonna get, something that I can come to. Yeah, I haven't played Warframe, but I assume it's probably gonna be closer to, Destiny than Warframe, is my guess. Just based on looking at about 2 minutes of gameplay. Oh, by the way, I wasn't watching Evo Japan last night. What the fuck happened with the results? Evo Japan results. Oh my fucking god, why is it so hard? Just show me the fucking top 8. Oh, men are RD1. Damn. He really is like the best Street Fighter player of the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I'd say. And Tekken. Oh, Chikurin won Tekken. Japan once again dominating Korea with its big Japanese cock. Once again proving that Tekken is not a Korean game. Guilty Gear Strive. I have no fucking idea why Guilty Gear Strive is full of, like, Americans now. I can't take Guilty Gear Strive seriously because for some reason the Japanese players suddenly all fell off when it jumped from Xrd to Strive, and I don't play Guilty Gear, so I can't tell you why. But it seems like a completely different game now. I mean, there aren't any other anime fighters in which the Japanese aren't, like, mostly dominant, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with Strive. Japanese Guilty Gear vets prefer R and Xrd? Yeah, I think they haven't switched over at all. No one plays Guilty Gear. I know that a shit ton of people were playing Strive for a very short period of time, and I assume they all dropped it because they were all just playing it because they wanted to masturbate to Jacko's ass. People like me, you know. There's a flood of ArcSys anime games. Yeah, but like, the other ArcSys anime games are mostly still dominated by Japanese players, like Grand Blue Fantasy and stuff like that. Capcom should just re-release Third Strike with some balancing. Do you guys actually want to play Third Strike, though? I play it every weekend. I'm not a good fighting game player in general, but I have even more difficulty trying to figure out, trying to visualize like the hitboxes on sprites instead of 3D models for some reason. I think it's because I never got to play video games during the Super NES era when people were most familiar with sprites. So as a result, I've become kind of more reliant on three-dimensional models for like spacing and shit, and I can never get used to the sprites, hitboxes, and stuff. Fighting games should be unbalanced mess with fun mechanics. Yes, which is why Darkstalkers is such a huge phenomenon. Everybody loves Darkstalkers, right? I mean, Marvel is a good example, though. Marvel Ultimate. Marvel 3. Fucking people still love Marvel 3. Can't deny that. I do love Darkstalkers. The Capcom being like, hey guys, if you show enough interest in our Darkstalkers re-release, we might give you a new game. Everyone's like, oh, really? And Capcom's like, haha, it didn't sell 5 million copies. Sorry. Looks like you won't be getting the game you want, LMAO. Was a massive fuck you and kind of hilarious, if you ask me. My favorite is Tekken 6 Tag 2, but if I were to get a Street Fighter game, it'd be Third Strike. Are the Tekkens really that different, though? Like, Tekken is the opposite of Strive in terms of, like, it's the same fucking players that are on top forever. It's fucking Chikurin and Ni and Low-High again for the millionth time. Like, I know there's some variation between Tekkens, but if you're good at one Tekken, aren't you basically just good at all of them? Tekken 6 Tag 2 are both super toned down from 5 and even compared to 8. I started playing Tekken, I believe with 4 when I was at college. And I immediately identified the most brokenly overpowered character in Steve. So I played a lot against one of my friends in the lobby, in the lounge area of college. And he was a much better player than me, but I was like 50-50 against him just because Steve was so brokenly powerful back then. Fucking Steve, everyone's in re-ing mode from Tekken 4-5 just by mentioning Steve. Yeah, maybe I was playing 5. I can't remember. Which was the one where the last boss was Jinpachi? Tekken Jinpachi. Oh, it was 5, so I did start on 5. Yeah, so I played Steve at its peak. No wonder I was so fucking good. I would just like press the punch button every once in a while and then half of your hit points fucking just go poof. Fun as hell, honestly. You didn't need to do any kind of floaty combo bullshit. You just punch someone once with Steve and they'd be dead. Feels good, man. In this day and age, I wouldn't be able to play Steve because A, he's not brokenly overpowered, and B, I have to jack off constantly while playing video games, so I can only play female characters. I played that game at my uncle's house and he played Steve against my 8-year-old ass. He's teaching you a lesson, son. Life isn't fair. Play the top tier characters. BB would be a Christie player for masturbation reasons alone, yes. The last Tekken I was playing was 7, and I was a Katarina player because she's incredibly easy to play. Just like Steve, you don't have to remember any combos, you just mash 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Instead of spending hours in training mode, you're just like, oh, did I launch someone? Just mash 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And obviously there's better optimal combos, but just mashing 4 is more than enough. Also, she has a low-cut pants with exposed thong. So that also appeals to my cock. She's also a bad girl, which also appeals to my cock. I can't be bothered to properly learn a difficult character. I have to draw 10,000 pages of manga, guys. If I can skip the combo learning phase by just mashing 4, then I'm gonna do it. Exposed thong is peak. I grew up in the early 2000s, so every girl was imitating Britney Spears and wearing low-cut jeans with exposed thong. So I have a particular fond memories of that fashion style. my main was Mokujin. I mean, isn't that basically saying you can play all characters unless I'm forgetting something about Mokujin? If you say that Mokujin is your main character, isn't that basically saying that you're really good at the video game? Unless you play Mokujin and suck, in which case you're just bad. I mained King since 2001. I feel it's weird how people always get angry over grapplers, because as someone who has been a stream monster for fighting games for a really long time, I have literally like never seen a grappler character win a major tournament. It's so rare, and yet when you talk about online, you always have fucking scrubs just absolutely losing your mind over how unfair it is when they have to play against Zangief and stuff. But grapplers are never top tier. MK11 was dog shit. Also, the girls aren't hot, which is the most important part, of course. I was not good at Tekken until 7. You must have seen Little Majin in Tekken 7, though? Yeah, and I mean, even JDCR plays Armored King. I don't know if you would consider Armored King to be, like, a full-on grappler or not. But, like, I don't think I've ever seen people just win by playing, like, a pure grappler in my lifetime. The closest I think I've gotten was, I think Itabashi Zangief got really close to winning Evo with Zangief back in, at some point in 5, or is it 4? I can't remember. And he lost to Tokido, I believe. And he was like absolutely just hitting all of his SPDs in a way that was like, it almost seemed like it was psychic. And yet he still wasn't able to win, so I think the conclusion is grapplers aren't very good. ET1 KOF Evo with a grappler? Which grappler was it? Was it like Daigoro or something? I think KOF has better grapplers on average than all the other games, right? I know Clark is fucking busted. I've seen people absolutely body with Clark and KOF, but KOF has such a low audience at this point. See, I mentioned grapplers and already we have people like being salty about King. Japan didn't win KOF either. KOF is a Chinese and Mexican game, just like Tekken is a Pakistani game. We need more female grappling characters now that you think about it. We need more female fighting game characters whose grapples are crushing your head with their thighs, like Shermie. It's an underutilized section of the market. I need thick thighs to crush my head. Yeah, the Pakistani Tekken story is one of the weirdest things to come out of video games in a while. It's actually undercovered if you think about how weird it is. Let's have a fighting game where the girls are aggressively lesbian towards each other. It was called Rumble Roses back in the day. And it existed entirely for me to masturbate. God bless them. Unfortunately, nobody remembers that time. It will all be forgotten like tears in rain. It looks like WWE versus DOA, yes. And it was extremely hot. They made a sequel Xbox exclusive and cut corners, yes. The PS2 actually had a shit ton of content. It had a lot of extra shit that we don't see in games nowadays. Like, you could press R1, I think, during the character selection screen, and then you could use some of the animation of other characters for the animations of... Like, you could swap character animations, basically. So you could have, like, a female... They were all female characters. You could have, like, one character that is supposed to be more of, like, a pure girl, and then have her do, like, super slutty poses, and then masturbate thinking that she was like being mind-broken, hypnotized or something. It was pretty awesome. Back in the day when you didn't have the internet. PS2 indeed had games. They really did. I hate to be the guy who's like, shit was better back when I was a teenager, but it actually was better when it comes to video games. There was like a brief period in video games where the companies, the developers are like, the way in which we make money is we make good video games and we make a lot of them. And then eventually the corporations realized there was a better way of making money, and it was making incomplete video games and selling DLC and seasons passes and, you know, endless content that is half-assed and half-cooked. But there was a brief period where we just got lots and lots of good games. I wish I had a PS2 during its heyday. The thing about the PS2 is that it was also a DVD player when people didn't have DVD players, which is why it was like the best-selling console ever. So when you were moving on from your VCR to a PS2, just like buying a PS2 was the same price as a DVD player or even cheaper, and suddenly you could watch DVDs and it was fucking awesome. PS1 was a lot of people's first CD player too. The good old days. Remember the good old days, guys, where you would borrow a video game from Blockbuster and it would be so poorly scratched that you couldn't fucking play it? Yeah, I remember. And you'd be like, fuck you, Blockbuster, I can't play this fucking game. And you'd have to take it back and complain to them. It was a more innocent time. Gamefly? Yeah, I used Gamefly for a short period of time. Is Gamefly still alive? I'm guessing it's not. I guess it's not dead. The wiki says... In 2018, Electronic Arts announced that they acquired cloud gaming technology, assets, and personnel from Gamefly, including its Israeli outpost. GameFly is currently owned by the same ownership group as Alliance Entertainment and is operated as a standalone company. Rest in peace. I mean, I don't know how much business it was doing, but it's probably been hurt a lot by the subscription services for both Sony and Microsoft, right? I don't think Game Pass is particularly a good service, but it's if you like playing a lot of different games, then it's probably a good GameFly alternative. GameFly was Israeli? What? I don't know. It just says it's Israeli outpost. I doubt that it's Israeli. I remember my mom getting RE4 on release. I'll never be so amazed by anything. RE4 was an insanely good game. I'm actually shocked that the remake was as good as it was. I think the RE4 remake is probably the best remake we've ever had, period. It has all of the same appeal as the first game, but modernizes its controls and has like increased content. It has some stuff left out, but all in all, it's about as good as you could expect something to be. It's also more difficult. I wish I had enough time to play a shit ton of video games using GameFly or whatever. But GameFly isn't a very good deal when, like, the average video game release you want to play takes you 100 hours to complete and you have a job. Like, if you want to play, like, Baldur's Gate 3, that's, like, basically a month and a half of gameplay just with that game alone. So you can't really justify your GameFly subscription based on that. I think it's pretty lame. Parry mechanics, you don't have to rely on parrying. You can just zone everything out. It's more of an optional thing. You fuck with the Warhammer 40k white-haired sex nuns? Are you talking about the Owlcat video game? Because they don't let you fuck the white-haired sex nuns in that. If you're talking about in general, I don't play Warhammer. If I just want to fantasize about fucking the Sisters of Battle, I can do that without, you know, engaging with Warhammer lore or anything. And if I actually do engage with Warhammer lore, then it's always like, oh, you want to enjoy yourself in this universe? Well, too bad. If there's even a slightly nice thing, it's just going to be ruined by horrible shit. So there's probably some sort of Warhammer lore where it's like, oh, if you want to fantasize of getting to fuck a Sister of Battle, we've included this this information that if you ever have sex with them, they have to chop off your dick or something like that for the glory of the Emperor. The whole point of Warhammer 40k is not letting you enjoy nice things in the future, so... I still find it funny that their acronym is SOB. Why are you crying, bro? SOBing around here. I think Americans, when they think SOB, they think son of a bitch. Which is also probably accurate for them. I guess they're not sons. Not gonna lie, Warhammer fans having a meltdown about the new female character is peak comedy. Warhammer fans literally have a meltdown every single day for one reason or the other. Which makes sense, it goes with the territory. They're always like, no, Games Workshop has released a new expansion pack book. I can't afford it. I've already spent all my income on food for the month. How can I pay for this $500 book? Can't stand the design of 40k. They just put skulls on everything, even skulls. Bro, you think you can't stand it? Think about me. People are constantly asking me to draw Warhammer content. Do you know how many fucking wings and skulls I have to draw a single Space Marine? You have to draw like 5 skulls with wings attached to them on every single part of their fucking armor. It's like 20 seconds to draw the general silhouette of the character because it's just like a bulky ass, vaguely human shaped thing with huge armor pauldrons, and then you spend the next 2 hours drawing fucking details on their armor. Which is why I'm always like, Jesus Christ, another Warhammer request. I never understood trying to expand every IP. Time and attention isn't infinite and neither is growth. LOL. That's not what capitalism says, though. Capitalism is based on the idea that you can have infinite growth, basically. Which is why everybody is like, you should invest in the stock market because the economy is going to be growing forever. We don't even consider the idea that maybe the economy shouldn't grow forever. It's just kind of like assumed that the economy is going to grow forever and we're all going to be better off for it. I'm gonna watch Shibuya Kayo. Is it Shibuya Kayo or Shibuya Kaho? Isn't Shibuya Kaho the JAV actress? I assume that's who you're talking about, considering the chat, what kind of a chat this is. Or maybe it's a streamer, I don't know. Was she the one with giant fucking tits? Or am I thinking of a different one? I don't watch a lot of IRL women in general. Why are some cosplayers so weird? Because they have incredible desperation to get attention. They need attention or else they die. That's why. Yes, she does. Giuna hosted her least horny Giuna moment right there. There's a lot of those. You might be thinking of Hitomi Tanaka. I admit that saying a JAV actress has giant tits does not narrow down the candidates very much. Kaho stream certainly displays something. The feminism of being like, there's nothing to be ashamed of my female body, which is why I can display my tits as much as I want to. Really mind broke Twitch mods, didn't it? They just have to be constantly in this zone in which they're either they're getting in trouble for shaming the female body in its natural form, or getting in trouble because a titty streamer has basically figured out a way to green screen her tits into the middle of the stream for like 3 hours or some shit like that. What type of feminist do you prefer, BB? The feminist that is really nice to me, I guess. Which is to say, there are no feminists like that. The feminist that isn't angry all the time. I don't really have any problems with feminists who are like actually risking shit and fighting for stuff in a society that is clearly really bad for females. Like, I don't know. If you're recently a female TikTok streamer in Iraq just got straight up assassinated because she was doing dances on TikTok or something. So, if you're out there risking your life to do silly TikTok dances, you have my respect. But the current wave of feminists in Western society that risk nothing, and all they're accomplishing is making life worse for men who want to see sexy video game characters, those people can all go fuck themselves. The truth is, there's very few things in modern Western society in which women are actually at a disadvantage or have a worse life than men. I really don't like the OnlyFans cosplayers. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Gundam cosplayers being weird in general. Just put on a cardboard box. Twitch way less titty streams on the hot tubs category. I think for hot tub content you have to go to Kick. Is what is happening. Isn't it all just in just chatting? Here's a hot take. We shouldn't have had a just chatting category to begin with. That was sort of the beginning of the end. We should have never allowed people to have just chatting streams. It should have been video games all the time. If you're not playing a video game, then you don't get to stream on Twitch. By the way, speaking of Evo Japan and Twitch, on day 2 of Evo Japan, the fucking Twitch bot banned 3 of the 4 Evo Japan streams. Just like automatically. They just got fucking banned. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Twitch. Are you kidding me? This is like a total of like 100,000 viewers watching fighting games, and they just got straight up banned. This company is so fucking bad at their job. It's hilarious. Slayer came out for Guilty Gear Strive, right? Don't care about Slayer. He's a man. I only care about female characters with big bouncing titties like Baiken. Unless his wife is showing up. When's my boy Venom getting his time in the sun? LOL. LMAO. Never. You're never getting Venom. Nobody wants to play Venom. His wife does show up. So is his wife a non-vampire and he just like sucking her eternally or something? I don't understand the Slayer lore, nor do I particularly care. She's an immortal being, so instead of being a endless cum dumpster, he instead has like a limitless blood bag. What do you think of the new Gundam anime that's going to be in the Unreal 5 engine? I still haven't watched Witch of Mercury, so that has to come first, I guess. The problem is I don't really like lesbians. I think I'm going to have to really figure out the geometry of these boobs right here. Like this. Right. Lesbian of Mercury is okay. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. Actually, this hair is going to be behind the shoulder, I think. Honestly, I kind of got tired of Gundam because in my old age, I've started to appreciate happy endings. And I got sick of Tomino murdering all the characters every single time. There's enough sadness in the real world that I don't need to feel sad about shit in my fiction, is basically where I've gotten to. It's from the Zeon perspective and shows the Federation as the baddies. So like every other popular Gundam fiction, I mean... Don't ever watch Thunderbolt then, it's depressing and just gratuitous. I mean, that's like every Tomino Gundam though. Basically every Tomino anime is Tomino just being like, what if I just murdered everyone in the last 2 episodes? Would people like that? I'm sure they would. It's like, oh, thank you, Tomino. You did this last time, too. No more key stuff like Air Cannon, Clannad, Angel Beat. Here's one of my dirty secrets. I literally have never watched or played any key stuff, ever. I've always felt like I should. because it's such an important part of like Japanese canon storytelling. But yeah, I haven't touched any of that shit. They will make you cry? Probably not. I also have serious lack of empathy, so it's pretty hard to get me to care about characters. But when I do, I also don't want to see bad things happen to them. I've never been a huge fan of like traditional moe character design and stuff, so... Higurashi? I mean, I'm not going to cry over Higurashi. Angel Beats is the equivalent of smashing puppies and screaming at you. Are you sad now? Isn't Angel Beats all taking place in, like, the afterlife or some shit? That alone makes me lose interest. What is this, Soul Society? Are we playing Bleach now? What the fuck? When I play my visual novels, I want the gameplay to me grabbing my cock and furiously masturbating while I watch Taiwanese females get fucked by orcs. I want more Black Lagoon. I never liked Black Lagoon either. It might not translate, but there's a weird cringiness to when Japanese authors really like guns and stuff. It's like the equivalent of weeaboos in America. They're Westaboos and they like think Hollywood action movies and Tarantino movies are fucking awesome, and it translates to their writing, and I always find it extremely cringy. It's especially cringy when reading it in Japanese. Fujimoto does that, but without the gun wank. Fujimoto does that, except with cinemaphile wank. He's like a true cinema hipster, which is different from Black Lagoon, which is gun wank. The action scenes don't seem very realistic or gritty like the show seems to want me to think. Yeah, that's basically what I'm talking about. It's, a lot of it is like, Hong Kong movie style gun action inspired, like sliding around, that type of shit. But, I don't think the author has the level of action chops to make it really work. I liked his stuff better when he was drawing porn, to be honest. If you guys don't know, he has a few porn doujins out there. They're pretty good. He should have kept at it. I also like the Hellsing author better when he was drawing porn as well. He does? Yeah. I have them on my computer. Will the Hellsing guy ever finish Drifters? No. Think about this for a second. We have several manga which entered the will they ever finish it zone. Which one of those mangas have actually finished by the original author? Name one manga that entered the is he ever going to finish that manga zone that actually finished. Can you fucking think of any? Because I can't. Attack on the Titan, but it was ass LMAO. But did Attack on the Titan ever actually finish the It's Not Gonna Finish zone? I don't think it did. Because it never entered like the hiatus stage where it's like, oh, he hasn't drawn anything or released anything in the last 8 months, right? It was always just like kind of plodding along, wasn't it? Also, everyone fucking hated the ending. Freezing author's previous work. Did Freezing ever get more than like 3 or 4 books? I thought it was just like porn. DBZ? DBZ was never in the will it ever finish zone. It was actually in the it looks like it's gonna finish zone. It had a bunch of extra volumes with the Boo saga, but it never really entered that hiatus. I'm thinking about shit like on the level of Bastard, for example. Where it's like, it's literally been a year since the, or 3 years since the last volume was released, that kind of level. Does Hunter x Hunter count because it never went anywhere, to be fair? I mean, Hunter x Hunter definitely counts for being in the, if it's not going to get finished zone. If Hunter x Hunter actually ends in any way proper, I'll be incredibly shocked. Hunter x Hunter is the poster child for this category, to be honest. Made in Abyss is also there. The Made in Abyss author has like insane blood pressure issues because he eats too much ramen and doesn't get enough exercise. So there's a hyper high possibility that he's just gonna die before it ends, unfortunately. Everyone's worried that he's just gonna die soon. It doesn't help that, like, Made in Abyss requires him to draw 10,000 highly detailed backgrounds and stuff, so... Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator. Yu-Gi-Oh! Ended. Without ever entering hiatus or anything. Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator dead, unfortunately. I mean, that's why you, if you have an opportunity to properly finish your series on a high note, you should just hurry up and end it. But I'm sure the editors are just like, no, please, sir, please, Oda-sensei, please draw 50 more volumes. Please don't end One Piece. Bleach, it never ended on a high note. Bleach actually got cancelled, dude. The author had more shit planned, and it became so unpopular that the editors ended it. Rest in peace. And now it's coming back because they're like, oh shit, we don't have enough talent to maintain our magazine. I know. Let's give the Bleach author give him a second chance. Gunsmith Cats is funny since the author hated how the manga got popular. Seriously? I didn't know that. It's with the Witch manga and not a continuation of Bleach? I thought he was drawing something for Bleach. Bleach manga continuation. Is it just the anime? It gave a fuck you ending to the manga. I wish Kubo would just draw porn, honestly. He clearly isn't interested in plots besides shonen power level bullshit. So I think we'd all be better off if he could just draw porn. But that's not going to happen because it's not that profitable, unfortunately. It's so hard for mangakas to use scenarists. I don't know if that's a word, because Kubo has always had great character design, but he can't write for shit. I mean, they usually, if they need help writing a story, they just have someone do like the entire plot for them. Of all of the manga where it's weird that there's someone who gets writing credits, the weirdest one is Toravuru. Toravuru. I can't believe Toravuru has a fucking writer. Every single episode is just main character trips and falls face first into panties, and they're like, thank God we have a fucking writer to tell us what to write. I meant writer. I mean, I get what you mean, but it actually might be just good to just have someone think up, like, scenario ideas. Because in the manga industry, usually when you have a writer, they do the paneling and stuff as well. Not always, but a lot of time they do the paneling stuff. It's much more in-depth than the writers in comics. But ultimately, isn't Kubo not interested in plot, though? I don't think it's an issue of him being incapable of writing plot. Although that might be also a problem. I think it's more he just doesn't care. Gintama author is an excellent writer, actually. It's kind of hard to understate how good a writer he is. Every once in a while, he'll have, like, afterwords that are featured publicly, and even his fucking afterwords are funny. Like, recently, he wrote some kind of afterword or message toward the animators and voice actors and stuff, and he was just, like, publicly shitting on the animators and being mean to them, and it was so fucking funny. He is just really talented at writing, and he's not very talented at drawing, unfortunately. Gintama is one of the very few situations in which the anime is significantly better than the manga, because the manga is too wordy to read, but it's perfect for a 30-minute animation series. He should honestly just be an anime scriptwriter going forward. Yes, and just have Kugimiya-san voice everything, and we'll all be better off. Is that what the title is supposed to be? It's supposed to be sound like trouble? Yes. Am I fucking dumb for not getting it? It's Japanese English. That's why it doesn't make any sense. It's To Love Ru. To Love Ru. And you do it is in katakana, and it becomes To Rabu Ru. Like that. Toraburu. It only makes sense if you're Japanese and you have no idea how English works, which is 99% of Japanese people. I thought it was like To Love You. Yeah, sure. I mean, that would be a more generous application of the author's understanding of English than how it actually works. It's like Toraburu as in trouble combined with love. And the trouble is the main character tripping and falling face first into vagina every day. Toraburu is a Japanese katakana word that they use for like happenings and stuff like that. Silly incidents and stuff. They will use the word toraburu every once in a while, so I think it's supposed to be a pun. Do you think there will be another edgy anime like Redo Healer? LOL. I mean, I don't understand why they're like, we should animate this on the airwaves. It's kind of weird how, see, Redo of Healer was also in the non-18 plus, the normal safe for work section of the website in which they do the isekai novel writing. I remember reading it at the time and being like, why isn't this the porn section? Because they have a porn section for writing that shit. And it never made sense that it was somehow allowed to be in the safe for work section. But it was. Any hype for Tekken 8, Lydia? Because I don't actually play Tekken. It's not a... The only hype I have for new characters is me and my desire to masturbate. So not really any hype for me personally. I was heartbroken when they took the female replacements for Eddie and Raven, Master Raven and what's her name, Christy, and turned them back into the male characters for Tekken 8. It's like, please Harada, I need to masturbate here. How could you rob me of my jack-off material? That sucked. Aren't they like 99% the same character? Or just like 100% the same character? As someone who is a big appreciator of skin-tight bodysuits with gaps in them, I was a huge Master Raven Coomer. Unfortunately, we're going back to normal Raven in Tekken 8. Raven is fucking Blade. How can you hate that? Because I like titties that much. Also, I'm not a huge Blade fan, not gonna lie. I don't like Blade because it makes vampires into essentially zombies. I think vampires should be more supernatural and magical than medical or technological. And Blade is much more of a technological vampires. So I don't like that much. Would you recommend any manga anime series to watch right now? Because I'm stuck on ecchi brain rot. I like ecchi brain rot. But I don't like Uzaki-chan. Let's actually look at what I'm watching on Crunchyroll. So here's my watch history. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. Dai no Daiboken. Great anime. Very loyal to the manga. Hits all the right points. Kakushigoto. I'm a huge fan of Kumeta Koji, the author. Kakushigoto is probably his most daddy-like, he's getting older kind of thing. Why would you ever use Crunchyroll? Because it's easy. That's why. Also because I forgot that I had my subscription fucking auto-renewing. So I paid for another year of it a few months ago. I was like, fuck, I forgot to turn that shit off. So I'm watching it out of spite because I already paid them money. Record of Lotus War. Obviously, I love my elves. Sign of Affection. This is shoujo. I'm watching shoujo for just research purposes, I guess. Girlfriend. I fucking love Girlfriend. It has great voice acting. JoJo, Demon Slayer, Space Battleship Yamato, Mushoku Tensei, Initial D, Utena, Gundam Wing, Magical Senpai. I fucking love Magical Senpai. I wish we had more anime like Magical Senpai. Magical Senpai is great. It's just like ecchi comedy delivered at a very fast pace. Frieren was surprisingly good. Yeah, I don't know. Frieren isn't what I'm looking for in my elves. Did you finish Record of Lotus War? I'm working on it. I haven't been watching much anime recently because it's hard to draw and actually watch good anime at the same time. Yamato isn't too old and worth watching. I'm watching the remake. For those of you who don't know, there was a Space Battleship Yamato remake released in, what, 2010 or so? It got a shit ton of porn because all the female characters are wearing skin-tight bodysuits and looking extremely fuckable. So all the doujin artists they fucking lost their minds over it. The anime itself is pretty good as well, but the porn is better. Your favorite doujin artist most definitely drew some Space Battleship Yamato remake porn. They all did. There's a scene near the end where Deedlit is laying on a couch and they linger on it, and I can say it's pretty fucking hot. I mean, Deedlit is from the era when they're like, we have to have her naked in the ending credits. We don't have as much anime where it's like, we're gonna start the anime with a lot of like adventure core stuff where there's like dragons and stuff, and where they're gonna end the anime by staring at the female character being naked. I feel like anime rarely improves on manga except for like KyoAni. Yes. The problem is that there are inherent differences in timing and like the content speed and stuff. So that just inherently disqualifies all of the Shonen Jump related shit, unless they're not trying to pump it out every single week, like One Piece. The One Piece anime is fucking atrocious. And they should really just stop doing that shit. But they can't help themselves. It makes too much money. It doesn't look better. Yes, they also don't have the budget to make every shot look as good as it does in the manga. Usually. So, usually the best anime are ones that are anime originals, or they're doing a broad reinterpretation of the manga for a manga that has already finished. This is why the Dai's Great Adventure anime is actually pretty good, because it's they're making anime of a manga that has already finished and is already it has already reached its destination, so they know where to cut and where to add stuff and stuff like that. Same thing for Mushoku Tensei, because the script is already fully finished, the original is already finished, they don't have any sort of timing issues. Which is probably the #1 reason why anime becomes bad. Yeah, they try too hard to stretch chapters. Deedlit riding a dragon nude trigger primate brain. Yes. Must impregnate elf. If I didn't feel like that on a deep spiritual level, I wouldn't be drawing this manga right now. DBZ really stretched their villain arcs. DBZ is like, oh, Goku, he's powering up! He's powering up! Ah, he's powering up! Ah, continue for like another 15 minutes. He's powering up! Ah! Reaction images of every single character being like, no, this power, it's too great! Ah! And then they're like, next episode, Cell at full power. And it's just like, by God, Cell, he's at full power! I powered up for a full episode, now I'm at full power. Oh no, there's no way we can beat him now. That's like the entire episode. Next on Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta punches Cell twice, and Cell is like, heh, that didn't do anything. And Vegeta's like, no! How can this be? How is he so powerful? That's the full episode. No, not perfect Cell! Lane also did the nude ending thing. Yeah, but she's a PC gamer neat. So she's in her natural habitat when she's naked. Fellow gamer chads, we all know how that works. When you become the new god of technology on the internet, you just have to sit around nude. Lane is the femcell leader. The most unrealistic part about Lane is her being able to afford all that fucking RTX 4090s. She's just like, Dad, I need a new GPU. I need 5 new GPUs. And he's like, sure, honey. I'll give you $30,000 right now. She just goes from like girl who's browsing the web on her Chromebook to the god of the internet in like 5 episodes, or 3 episodes, basically. He's just like, Dad, I need a new water-cooled PC. It's like, where did you get all that fucking hardware? Lane would just get the money from femcell simps. She'd have to have the subscriber goal at the bottom of her stream being like, yeah, money required for my 4090. I thought Lane was made in the early 90s. Yeah, it's made in the early 90s, and she has like a CRT computer, and like the next chapter she's in a Ghost in the Shell cyberpunk room full of water cooling tubes and stuff like that. A modern remake of Lane would be a VTuber. It'd just be Pokemon, unfortunately. The entire story would be her fighting with Twitch mods to see if they'll ban her just because she's exposing her nipples or something. I never seen Lane. Is it worth watching? I mean, it has that nice, how do I put it, techno-core feel of the time period. It's not particularly entertaining, but it has good atmosphere, I'd say. It's also not very long, if I remember. Isn't it like just like 10 episodes or so? It's a short, fun ride. It's like she's just like me, except she's a cute girl. Also, she's the god of the internet or something. Honestly, I watched it when I was like 12, so I can't remember the details. Yeah, I've never seen Boogie Pop. Boogie Pop and Lane were the two atmosphere animes of the period. I'm blanking on it. Does any of you guys remember an anime from around the same period? And it was about a female college student living with a shitty alien in a really shitty apartment, and they have no money. And that's like the entire plot, is they're poor as fuck. I think it had some kind of title like that sounded sort of like Nier or something. Not the 2B Nier. What the fuck was it? Oh, Nia 7, that's right. Thank you. We have some anime consumers in chat right here. Yeah, I fucking love that. It's just entirely about, god damn it, it says Nia under 7. Nia under 7 2000 retro anime. I fucking hate that the anime I grew up watching is now officially under the retro anime category. But unfortunately, when you're watching anime when you're 14 and you're 37, and it's been 24 years since the year 2000, yeah, that officially qualifies as retro anime to Zoomers. That was another good atmospheric anime of the time. Back in the day, that's right, boys. Does anyone remember the anime in Japanese that was called Kacho Oji? It would say anime about a guy who wanted to be a musician. He was it's Bocchi the Rock before Bocchi the Rock. And instead of a cute pink-haired girl, it's an old guy who's thinking about how hot he was back in the day as a guitar player. It's Bocchi the Rock combined with like, what's it? What was the 80s movie about where they get like the kid who's playing a video game to go and fight in space? The Last Starfighter. Black Heaven, that's right, that's what it was called in English. And it's about wanting to fuck the hot alien chick, except, maybe she wasn't an alien, I can't remember, except instead of fucking her, he goes back to his house and his wife and has sex with his wife like a proper human being. I like Detroit Metal City. Fuck, 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 fuck. Rape, 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 rape. It's Krauser-san. Krauser-san is saying, rape 11 times in 1 second. He's doing it. Truly, he is, the hero of all of us. Who else can yell rape 11 times in 1 second? Fuckingham Palace, yeah. The best part of Detroit Metal City is all the people who are watching it and like giving commentary as Krauser goes off. Then being like, oh shit, Fuckingham Palace. What a classy song. It's like I'm actually raping the queen. Glad this is how I find out what you sound like. Yeah, I sound like Krauser. Krauser-san! Much like the Addams Family, Detroit Metal City is excellent example of how you really only need to have one joke. Sometimes having one joke is more than enough. If it's a really good joke, you can just get by on that one joke for like an entire manga and anime run. One joke the entire time. Honestly, I'm not the right person to ask about anime in the current day and age because I haven't been watching lots of anime. I don't really have time for it. I've actually been watching Rick and Morty recently because I have a very brief period in which I can watch Cartoon Network stuff on demand, which is what I'm paying for the streaming service during the NBA playoffs. Because I don't pay for anything for the rest of the year, but during the NBA playoffs, you basically have to pay for TV if you want to fucking watch NBA games. So that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna catch up to Rick and Morty and stuff. Rick and Morty is anime, basically. Oh, gee, Rick, I don't know. Are we anime now? Shut up, Morty. Everything's anime. Rick and Morty season 1 and 2 was good in my opinion, then dropped like a stone. I actually think it's underrated at this point. I think it's gone from being overrated to like it got too popular and then everyone started to fucking hate the fan base and now it's underrated. Because it has probably some of the most insufferable fans on the planet, right? Someone posted Rick and Morty copy pasta, where it's like you need to have a high IQ to understand Rick and Morty copy pasta. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Rick's nihilistic outlook, which is definitely woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from Narandanya, I can never pronounce that, Volya literature. For instance, the fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes. There are 7 seasons now. Yes, it appears so. I think 7 is the latest one. I don't know. I was trying to catch up on the latest season. The only episodes on demand on the streaming service that were available were season 7. But there was an episode in which they're all enjoying spaghetti, and it turns out that the spaghetti comes out of the dead corpses of humans' bodies. And I was just like, yep, this is why I still enjoy Rick and Morty. It has a certain level of morbidness that other American cartoons don't have, like Family Guy and shit. Rick and Morty is the new Family Guy. It just never stops. The difference between Rick and Morty and Family Guy is that it has story continuation, which seems like something that you wouldn't expect for it to have, but it does. So I give it a lot of credit for that. Family Guy is truly like the lowest common denominator in terms of like how hard they have to work for their jokes. It's like the entire South Park episode where they were complaining about Family Guy and just saying that this isn't a joke, you're just putting some sort of random situation out there in which you're like, hey, remember the time in which this crazy thing happened, that thing. And I sort of agree with that. Family Guy dropped rock bottom with that time travel episode. I like how nobody even talks about The Simpsons because it's basically, it goes without saying that nobody considers The Simpsons to be good at anymore. There's people that are like from the generation above me that are like 45 right now or 50 that are like The Simpsons, the first two seasons of The Simpsons was like the greatest TV ever made. Simpsons went too long and isn't funny anymore. I mean, it's not the same writers. It's one thing being like, this isn't good anymore because the person who was making it got old and they used up all their jokes and they lost their edge and stuff. But in the case of Simpsons, it's literally different people writing the show, so I mean, you can't assume that it's going to be the same in any way. It's kind of expected that it's not going to be as good. The Simpsons no longer represented the median American. They are bogey now. Do you guys know about Sazae-san? This is one of the basically the longest running Japanese anime. It's like a nuclear, post-war nuclear family in which the grandfather, the daughter, like multi-generations living in the same Japanese household. But it was supposed to be like a funny anime back in the day, but now it is just like a family values type shit, and then also the whole core family structure is in no way reflective of the current Japanese family structure. So it's like this weird archaic fossil that still keeps on going forever. And The Simpsons are entering that zone right now. Bring back Apu. We need model immigrant working the 7-Eleven. I mean, that part still is pretty realistic. All the gas stations and 7-Elevens in my area still have immigrants working, so... Ironically, Apu is one of the few parts of The Simpsons that was still relevant. Showa era family? Yeah, it's 100% Showa. "7-Eleven in Japan has Nepali Apu." You'd hope so, but in reality it just has like hyper disgruntled Japanese NEET who can't get any other job at least like 3 in the morning. Also, when I went to Japan like a year and a half ago or so, they had installed all these new automatic pay machines, and you just like put the money directly in the fucking machine, even if there's someone standing at the cash register. I'm not one of these like old people who are like, I need to have human interaction to buy my thing. In fact, I prefer not having human interaction, but it was pretty jarring to just be like away from Japan for a few years, and then you come back and every single one of the convenience stores has like a new payment system. I was just like, what the fuck? Have you tried the Rhino gas station dick pills? What, is this some sort of knockoff Viagra that you're recommending to me? You mean like the employee-less Amazon grocery stores? Is that a real thing? Does that actually work? I imagine that people go in and they try and steal shit. Like, how could that possibly work in the year 2024 where, like, every major metropolitan area is full of gangs of professional looters who will just come into your store and steal a bunch of shit and then sell it on eBay? Like, they're not gonna give a fuck whether you have camera recording them or not. They're just gonna cover their faces and stuff, so... Spy Family is the new nuclear family. Yes. You should go to the adoption agency, guys, and find your beautiful pink-haired psychic daughter. Your cute waifu daughter. Girlfriend. They built some experimental stores in Seattle. Yeah, I'm sure that went perfectly fine. Because Seattle is known for its complete absence of drug addicts right now. I'm sure the meth heads were just like, we should leave that Amazon store alone. A wife that you don't fuck. The only thing I know about Yor is that she takes the big black cock or something. I don't know. There's a lot of AI of her getting the big black cock treatment. That's all I know about it. Says a lot about the fans of AI porn. 99% of AI porn is BBC content. Every once in a while there'll be a AI porn artist, quote unquote, who won't have gigantic big black cocks, and they're usually Japanese. And instead of big black cocks, they'll be generating ugly bastards instead. People say that a wife that you don't fuck, like, is a really bad thing. But, is it really that bad? If she does all the other wife stuff. If she doesn't fuck, and then she also doesn't cook or clean or anything, then that might suck, but... If you don't have to fuck her, doesn't that mean, like, you get more time to yourself? This is why I'm not married. Are you alternating between G-pen and calligraphy pen? I'm alternating between the calligraphy pen, the brush pen. This is the one that's supposed to simulate, like, an actual brush. So it makes these kinds of long lines. It's very, very different, very pressure sensitive and speed sensitive. It's probably the most dynamic of the brushes I have, but you need to be working at a larger pixel size than 2500 by 2500 for it to really be good. So it's not very good at my current size. I need to work in a bigger size. And then I have this thing called Real G Pen, and it has, if you look at it, it has this weird shape. It's not a perfect circle, but I like the line thickness of it. I use this when I want to make this kind of sharp lines like this. I think it's supposed to simulate drawing with a G Pen on actual paper. But I like this better than the standard G Pen, which if you look is, it doesn't have those dots in it. And whenever I draw stuff with the standard G Pen, it always ends up looking too clean, like sterile. So I basically stopped using the standard G Pen in most cases. The standard calligraphy one doesn't seem like the same on CSP has now, or is it? It's not called standard. I added the standard because I have modified calligraphy pens. Because I have like calligraphy gray. These are like stuff where I've been fiddling with that they do different shit. I have calligraphy round, calligraphy gray, calligraphy custom. Calligraphy standard is the one that comes in its standard in the Clip Studio Paint without any modifications, which I just use the most. But I use, for example, a circular. It's an ellipses like this. But when I do, sometimes I want the brush thickness of the calligraphy pen, not the thickness, but you know what I mean. How whatever the thickness based on pressure. But I want it to be circle, so I can do in like different directions. So I have a circle version, and then this is one. The calligraphy gray is one that is really good for stopping lines. You get these rounded ends. It's based off of a pen that someone else made in my previous version of Clip Studio Paint. And when I was switching computers, I was trying to port all of the pens I had manually, and I couldn't re-download it from the store because the person who made it took it off the store. So I looked at all the settings that they had in the pen on my previous computer and ported it directly. I recreated the pen basically manually, which is why I have it locked. Or I think I have it locked. It should be locked. Because I don't want to ever fiddle with it. Man makes his own tools, Giga Chad. Yes, but the truth is I don't use any of them. I only use these three at the top. Calligraphy Standard, Brush Pen, and Real G Pen. Basically. They make up for like 90% of the brush strokes I make. What does the pen sensitivity curve look like for gray? I don't even remember how I look at the sensitivity curve. I have to unlock it? I don't know. See, it's been so long since I fiddled with this shit, I can't remember how to do it. The truth is, Clip Studio Paint is a professional drawing program for manga artists, and they basically have all the tools that you need available for you from the get-go. And this is like 1.0 or something. It's not like any of whatever remake shit that they've been trying to get you to pay for. I don't even know how to look at the information. But yeah, I haven't bought... This is the first version that I bought, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and I definitely haven't updated it. Jesus Christ, it's been 3 hours of drawing? Okay, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. I have to stop talking to you guys and actually get shit done. And prepare for the NBA games that I'm going to sort of half-assedly watch tonight. God fucking damn it, I want to be done with this chapter, but I still have like 10 more pages. Oh, fuck me. Oh. Alright guys, do you bet? Nah, it's too much work. I thought of betting, but when I think that I have to pay extra taxes on my winnings, it's just like, fuck that. See you around, guys. Good night.